All right, it's ranting time. So, I was watching Yellowstone, the TV show, last night. And I had seen some video essays about it already where they were saying that this is just a bad show. It's just bad. It's propaganda. And I saw it and I initially thought the same thing. And I got some more downstream thoughts that came as a result of it. So here's a few things. First thing, I think it's interesting that when I watch this show, it accomplishes the feat of making me feel something. And I think that's one of the most important things about filmmaking is that you engage an emotional response in the viewer. And when I was watching a scene where Beth Dutton was talking to, I don't even know the character names. She's the only one I know. And then she's talking to the Native American girl that's just like, "You're the Indian now," to Mr. Dutton. I felt some emotional tugging on my heart. I felt sad for them. And so, bravo, Taylor Sheridan, for that. And then I also saw a scene right after that where it was like a cow branding and castration scene, and it had like some sick rock music, and it's like, yeah, or I think it was just like kind of pop country or something, and it was like, yeah, we're having a good time out here, and like the whole town had gathered, and they were just kind of like looking at the Rough Rider guys, castrating these cows and like the calves. And then they had this hippie woman who Beth had just like lit into earlier. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, cow, but I need to do this or else you're gonna get sick. Oh my gosh. And it was just like, I was saying, oh my gosh, in response to that. And so what that made me think of is like, Taylor Sheridan in his writing is doing a good job of eliciting emotional responses. But I think that I've noticed a few problems. First problem is that he is so on the nose, just no subtlety a lot of the time, that I just feel like, I just roll my eyes. Like when Beth is lighting into that one hippie girl, she's like, "What, you just don't like any institutions, and so you think marriage is a fraud? Well, that's only a fraud. That's only true if you're with a bad man." And she's like dropping the F word every other word. And it's like, okay, like, I wonder what Taylor Sheridan thinks. I wonder what side of this he's on. It doesn't make you think at all. So it got me to feel something, and then I just realized it feels like propaganda a little bit. And I don't like saying that in the sense that a lot of other YouTubers are talking about it. When I say propaganda, I'm saying like there's definitely a political message that's being shared here, right? But I don't think it's necessarily like, vote Trump, or like, this is... It is kind of like, this is the way it is, and I'm going to tell you straight. The way that I can tell that, or I think I can, is that it just tells you. It doesn't show you anything. It just tells you. And so it's like even when I felt things, like the emotional beats with that conversation with the Native American girl who apparently had just lost a child, spoilers, it was like every little thing was spelled out. There wasn't room for interpretation. It was just like, that's why you're mean. It's because you have sadness inside. And then Beth's like, no, I'm not mean because of that. I was an effing B before that. And, oh, well, you're good at it, It's like, okay, you were just spelling it all out for me. And then when we get to the part with the castration and the hippie girl, it's like, okay, you're just making people who don't share your point of view complete buffoons. And not just because they do that on their own sometimes, we all do that, but like, it's ridiculous. It is so over the top. I think it would be more interesting if it was like a subtle thing, like I don't know. I don't know the story well enough, but like this hippie girl, for whatever reason, she's at this ranch where they're castrating cows. She could just be intelligent and she could be rational and not just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, just, it could be like, ooh, okay, gotta do this. Like, just simpler reactions that are not just like, yeah, the government's gonna steal all our land. The government's gonna kill our whole herd. The government this, the government that. And like, does that stuff happen? Yeah. But okay, here's another one. When I don't even know, the black-haired Dutton's son that was in Interstellar, when he comes into his office, and he's apparently, I think, like Attorney General over Montana, and his secretary's like, sir, can I please say something that I have no right to say? And I'm just, again, it's like every character is just Taylor Sheridan. Like, can I just level with you? It just, even though I'm a little secretary. And then she's like, after the boss is like, yeah? She's like, women know women, and men know what women want them to know. And I just was like, I'm so sick of this. It's so weird because it pulls you in, and the sound design, the music, the acting, it's all great. And Taylor Sheridan's writing is sometimes really good. But it's just moments like that it's just like, this is propaganda, the sense of like, sure, every filmmaker has their own point of view that they're going to share. But you're just like, bam, here it is. Bam. Women are women and women know how women act, but men are just robot man only wants sex and violence. Like, and it's weird because I think I was talking about this with some buddies and I was making fun of it. I didn't even really watch the show. And one of my buddies was like, you realize that a lot of people, that's like their political worldview. And I thought for a second, I was like, yeah, parts of it, I'm sure. And like, I think that you can make arguments for any number of these things. Like, you can make arguments about the hippie girl and stuff. Okay. But like, every single event is punctuated by lines that are just, well, this is the real way it is, stupid. Let me tell you. Can I tell you something I have no right to say? But if I ever said this in real life, I'd probably get screwed. Yeah. Okay. So, this is me watching part of a single episode after having seen a bunch of video essays. I'd be interested in hearing what other people think. Maybe I'll watch more, probably not. But yeah, I guess just to sum up, it's like Yellowstone is interesting to me because I felt some of the things that I was supposed to feel. And then I felt so annoyed at other times. And not just because of my point of view, but just because it was like, it was really reductive and it was really ham-fisted. It was just like no subtlety, just like right in the nose. So, yeah.